Jabari Smith Jr.'s three gave Houston a quick 3-0 cushion, the Rockets imposing their tempo from the opening tip. Lauri Markkanen answered with a floating basket to trim the deficit to 1, but Tari Eason's turnover gifted Utah possession, and Cody Williams converted on the break to hand the Jazz their first lead. Sloppy possession stalled both offenses. Alperen Sengun and Kyle Filipowski coughed it up on back-to-back trips. Then Thompson's careless handle bled another Houston chance. Smith Jr.'s own giveaway moments later made it 4 combined turnovers in the stretch, as neither side could settle into any rhythm. Alperen Sengun's basket reclaimed the lead for Houston, but Ace Bailey's dunk capped back-to-back Jazz scores that built a 3-point edge. Smith Jr.'s 3 knotted it at 9 apiece, his quarter total climbing to 6 points on 2 triples. The lead kept swinging. Smith Jr.'s dunk drove Houston ahead by 2, Kyle Filipowski's floater leveled it once more, then Thompson's score restored the Rockets' cushion and ignited a decisive Houston stretch heading into the mid-quarter. Smith Jr.'s 3 ballooned the margin to 6, 3 straight Rockets possessions ending in baskets. Thompson's layup on the fast break widened the advantage to 8 before Filipowski's 3 trimmed the deficit back down to 5. Houston's perimeter attack found rhythm as Kevin Durant drilled a 3 to rebuild the 8-point edge. John Konchar's driving basket briefly answered for Utah, but Smith Jr.'s 4th triple of the quarter lifted him to 14 points and a 9-point lead. Reed Shepherd's 3 extended the margin to 12 after consecutive Rockets scores, the rout taking shape. Thompson's dunk inside kept the pressure mounting, then Shepherd's 2nd triple of the quarter opened a commanding 14-point gap. Houston's interior dominance continued as Clint Capella threw down a dunk to cap 3 straight scores. Markkanen's putback carried his total to 6, but Kevin Durant's 3 sealed a dominant quarter. The Rockets ahead 38-22 heading into the second. John Konchar's 3 trimmed Houston's lead to 13, but Alperen Sengun's layup answered immediately to rebuild the 15-point cushion. Lauri Markkanen's driving basket and the ensuing free throw narrowed the deficit to 12, the Jazz chipping away early. Utah's best stretch arrived next. Bryce Sensabaugh scored on the transition. Then Kevin Love's 3 sliced the margin to 5 as 4 straight Jazz possessions ended in points. Sengun's turnaround steadied Houston before the deficit could shrink further. Tari Eason's dunk in transition ignited a Rockets counterpunch. His 2nd basket of the quarter extended the run to 3 straight Houston scores. Bryce Sensabaugh's layup briefly halted the surge, but Utah's defensive structure was already cracking. Houston's transition game took over. Jabari Smith Jr.'s steal and layup opened a 3-score Rockets run. Josh Okogie converted in the open court to widen the gap to 13. Then Kevin Durant's jumper ballooned the advantage to 15. The avalanche continued as Smith Jr.'s dunk made it 4 straight Houston scores. Thompson's slam and floater on consecutive trips completed a devastating 6-score run, the lead swelling to 21 with Utah unable to mount a response. Lauri Markkanen's dunk provided a momentary lift for the Jazz, but Smith Jr.'s tip-in off the offensive glass and Eason's layup in transition erased the response, the Rockets reclaiming their 23-point edge with suffocating rim pressure. Houston's interior attack was suffocating. Sengun's hook maintained the 23-point advantage. Kyle Filipowski's layup briefly cut it to 21. Then Sengun scored again to lock in the commanding margin. Utah had no defensive solution inside. Isaiah Collier's dunk off the turnover trimmed the deficit, but Smith Jr.'s slam moments later rebuilt the lead to 23. Markkanen's step back with a second remaining closed his quarter at 11 points as Houston carried a 68-47 advantage into halftime. Houston stormed out of halftime as Jabari Smith Jr.'s 3 stretched the cushion to 24. Alperen Sengun's dunk and Thompson's layup on back-to-back trips kept the Rockets surging, with the advantage swelling to 26 before Utah could settle. Ace Bailey's tip-in briefly interrupted the surge, but Kevin Durant's fadeaway rebuilt the 26-point margin. Thompson's second basket of the quarter drove the lead to 28, Houston's transition game suffocating Utah at every turn. The Jazz found a pulse as Lauri Markkanen's three and Isaiah Collier's dunk trimmed the deficit with back-to-back scores. Sengun's dunk stabilized Houston's lead at 25, denying Utah any sustained momentum heading into the middle of the quarter. Tari Eason's three ignited a devastating three-score burst. Smith Jr. added a turnaround jumper to widen the gap to 30, then Durant's triple capped the surge at 89-56 as Houston's largest advantage of the night reached a staggering 33. Utah clawed back as Bryce Sensabaugh's three and Collier's driving basket carved the margin to 26 with consecutive Jazz scores. Durant's pull-up jumper halted the run and restored the 28-point cushion before the deficit could shrink further. Tari Eason's tip-in stretched the lead back to 30, but Sensabaugh's second triple of the quarter sliced it to 26, the Jazz guard keeping Utah within shouting distance. Houston answered in emphatic fashion. Reed Sheppard's three extended the margin to 29, and Thompson's dunk in transition ballooned the lead to a commanding 31. Sensabaugh scored twice more to lift his quarter total to 11, and Svi Mykhailiuk's layup capped the Utah scoring for the period. The Rockets carried a commanding 100-75 advantage into the fourth, their balanced attack proving too much for the Jazz. Houston opened the fourth with Dorian Finney-Smith's three stretching the cushion to 28, but Lauri Markkanen answered with a dunk and a layup on consecutive possessions, the Jazz trimming the deficit to 24 and signaling they would not go quietly. Kevin Durant's three rebuilt the margin to 27, yet Bryce Sensabaugh's triple and Kevin Love's bank shot carved it back to 22 on successive Utah trips. The Jazz were matching Houston score for score, chipping steadily at the massive gap. The back and forth continued as Reed Sheppard's three restored a 25-point edge, but Sensabaugh's second triple of the quarter and Markkanen's dunk sliced the lead to 20, two straight Jazz scores keeping the pressure on Houston's cushion. Sheppard's next three widened the advantage to 23, but Markkanen's dunk and Sensabaugh's slam delivered back-to-back Jazz scores to cut it to 19, Utah's relentless rim attack yielding 12 interior points through 3 quarters of action. Utah kept clawing as Sensabaugh's fadeaway narrowed the gap to 17, but Jabari Smith Jr.'s three gave Houston a needed lift and stretched the lead back to 21. Isaiah Collier's pull-up brought the Jazz within 19 heading into the final minutes. Aaron Holiday's floater maintained the 19-point margin, and Kyle Filipowski's dunk inside provided Utah's final push. Holiday's three sealed the result at 125-105, the Rockets closing out a dominant wire-to-wire victory over the Jazz.